When a sprinkler is running, it should not bring your whole house down to 20 psi. So this is where dynamic pressure tells us a different story from static pressure, but you still need to start with static pressure. So if you have good static pressure but low dynamic pressure like we're seeing here, that means there is something limiting the amount of flow that can get into and through and around your house. So what are some things that could do that? Well, in this case, there's one obvious potential culprit. This is the original whole house water shutoff valve. It's not used anymore, but it could be stuck in a partially closed state. This is the water meter for the house. In order to know if that valve upstairs is a restriction, we actually need to put a gauge between this water meter and that shutoff valve. I'm going to go ahead and shut off the supply. Now that the pipe is cut and cleaned, I'm ready to install my special pressure gauge. So this is a pressure gauge that is pre-assembled onto a SharkBite T, so I can push it over my 3/4 inch copper pipe and have a permanent pressure gauge just after the water meter. Okay, now that I got my SharkBite fitting and pressure gauge installed right after the meter, I'm going to go ahead and turn my water main back on. So why is my pressure 55 to 60 psi in my main, but only 20 psi out of that faucet? Well, I think that valve upstairs must be clogged. Again, this is why dynamic pressure is so complex to record, because here we have another location and another totally different pressure. All the noise that I hear from the water flowing is coming from right up here, which is right where that valve is. That noise can be a clue as to where restrictions are in your water system. I shut the water back off and cleaned up the valve, and I'm just gonna try exercising it here to see if I can get it to turn either way. I've totally loosened this packing nut. I'm gonna keep working it back and forth, seeing if I can work the valve all the way out. I've gotten this valve, I think, to gain its full travel back. Instead of turning about half a turn open to close, now it turns a full 2 turns open to close. Okay, what I've attempted to do here is open the valve all the way and then tighten the packing nut down so that this should hopefully seal and be essentially stuck in the fully open position, where before it was kind of stuck in, you know, a nearly closed position. Okay, I've got the water turned back on and no leaks coming from the valve. The sprinkler looks way more energetic than it did a minute ago. We were 20 over here. And look at that, we are about 53. A quick check filling a bucket shows that the flow coming out of these garden hoses has gone up by 4 times. That's what I call problem solved.